Hello everyone, welcome to another conversation with our Code Chrysalis alumni, where we speak with them about their life since graduating from the bootcamp. My name is Buki Adejobi. I am the career support lead here at Code Chrysalis. Today with us we have Hiroyuki Momoi, who graduated from the bootcamp in 2018.
2018.
Yeah, and you were the
CC5.
fifth. Yes, yeah. CC5. So please tell us a little bit about yourself, life before taking the immersive, and your experience with immersive and afterwards.
All right, so hi there. My name is Hiroyuki Momoi. Please call me Hiro. And I am a alumni of CC5. I joined Code Chrysalis Immersive course in July 2018 to September, which was like 12 weeks course. Yeah. Right, 3 months. Yeah. And at the time, I had a full-time job, and I took a sabbatical leave because it was like very, immersive.
Yeah, it's like a full-time job.
Very intense. Yeah. But I really wanted to get myself into like very intense environment to get new skill, which is in this case programming. So brief my background before joining Code Chrysalis was like I started my career in 2004 as a system engineer at the Japanese system integrator. Maybe some of you may know that kind of like a structure of Japanese IT industry. So even though you start the career as a system engineer, you like kind of soon
move around.
Move around and work as a project manager or something like that. Without any like strong experience in tech. But anyway, so I started my career as a system engineer. And then soon after, I don't know, a few years later, I was working as a project manager for kind of like a IT infrastructure integration projects for Japanese enterprises. And I experienced working as a people manager. And kind of like a do you know PMO, project management office or something like that?
PMO office,
PMO or something like that. And I spent 10 plus 12 years at the Japanese system integrator. And in 2018 is like kind of like how could I say, like a big year for IT industry because at the time, kind of cloud computing is like getting popular and popular, even though in Japan. And at the time, I was working in kind of like a server-side system engineers. I'm actually holding the server and then get inside to data centers, and I put them like in the hardware, right? They put it in the rack or something like that. That was a work, and I realized that in few years the cloud computing is like gets real. You know what I mean? Like at the time in Japan, most of the enterprises buy real hardwares.
Japan's still very much like hardware or very much not as advanced as many people think. I mean, we still have one thing we talked about in the last conversation we had was that many companies still use fax machines.
That's real. But anyway, so I felt like momentum of the cloud computing, and I was thinking like maybe it's good to learn how to code the application because the infrastructure layer is we don't need to learn infrastructure layer like as strong as before because we can like use the cloud infrastructure and we don't need to maintenance the lower layer. We just need to we will be able to use our time to actually think about the application or something like that. So so I wanted to change I wanted to enhance my like tech skills into more like coding side. So that was the biggest idea at the time. And I was looking for good like schools to learn programming. And I researched on the internet, but in 2018 there were no like good boot camps in Japan.
Yeah.
There are some like coding school in Japan, but they are not kind of like casual, I would say, the mild manner.
Right.
They are not so intense.
Right.
And you know, like Bay style, Silicon Valley style, something like that. So that kind of like terms are popular. Then I found Code Chrysalis. And
how did you find Code Chrysalis?
Internet
like
search.
Online. Okay.
So actually I found Wagon first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
that's an interesting conversation. So I'm curious, like, you know, what made you choose Code Chrysalis over Wagon?
Yeah. So I found Wagon at some startup event or something like that, and I got to know about the boot camps. And I thought boot camps may be a good choice for me, and I started to research like boot camp on Google.
Yeah, because it's interesting. Boot camp is not a common concept in Japan. It's only recently that it's starting to pick up, but back then
because there are no schools like having the boot camp in Japanese. So, and I found, I think, if I'm not mistaken, there were only two schools, Wagon and Code Chrysalis. Yeah, they're providing the immersive coding boot camps.
Yeah.
And I just compared two schools, and my most highest priority was how intense. You know what I mean?
How intense in what sense?
How serious?
Okay.
I mean, and so I think things have changed, but at the time, Wagon provides some like casual or more lightweight experience, which is like using Ruby on Rails and creating some website. That was kind of like a goal.
Okay.
But on the other hand, Code Chrysalis said like, we use JavaScript, but we are not using how to write JavaScript. We will provide you the brain. So we will teach you how to think in code or something like more.
So how to think like a software engineer.
Software engineer, that's right.
Stuff so that you can like learn on your own beyond what we teach you.
Yeah. That's right. So I thought that the thing was something I really want to like get in terms of the ability, right? So as you can see, I'm a wheelchair user, and I looked up the facility here.
I see. I see.
So, and I just emailed to Jan and to see like, do you have universal toilet or something?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because now the toilets are now like made, they're bigger now.
Yeah. Kanye said to me very proudly a few months ago. And I was like, oh yeah, you finally. So and then like Jan or Kanye replied to me, unfortunately we don't have the facility for wheelchair users, but it's then okay, but it's like there is no like options that I can get the same degree of experience and same like depth of the so I plan to use like the hospital.
Okay.
Yeah. then I talked to Kanye and Yan, and so maybe I will like go out for the toilet
I see.
in a few times in a day. So are you okay with that or something like that? And they say, of course, sure. And then
I did not know that. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so of course, facility was the big barrier for me, but I felt like there was more important thing and that I want to achieve. Yeah, even though I overcome that like obstacles. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was like how's the fourth time I found the Code Chrysalis, and then I joined the Code Chrysalis, and actually I started the Code Chrysalis experience with the foundation course. Yeah, that was like 2-3 times a week.
Yes, in the evening.
In the evening, yeah.
So that must have been because the immersive for you was from July to July, August, September to September. So foundations was like how long before July for you?
Not that before. I think 1 month, 2 months.
So it was like in June.
So kind of like a POC, proof of concept.
I see. Yeah. You're like, okay. I've learned some things. It works, so I would take the immersive now. Okay.
Yeah, and I was kind of like afraid, or scared because I now kind of I can speak English, but at the other time I only had an experience worked in Japanese companies, so there were no opportunities to actually speak English. I had many opportunities to read technical documentation in English, and I like listen to English, but for the most of Japanese don't have much opportunities to actually use English to communicate with people, foreigners, right? And that was like a second thing that I wanted to test myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so for you, when you took foundations, was it foundations light or like foundations? Because the foundations light is completely self-paced. But the foundations one, that's the one where you have the instructor with you.
At the time, only foundation course were there.
I see. Okay.
I haven't heard about the foundation light.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to check if we.
But anyway, and then like, kind of I convinced myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I can maybe do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And then I joined the CC5.
Right. So you passed the technical.
Oh yeah. That was intense.
Yeah, that was intense. Even after foundations.
Yeah, even after foundations, of course. And then like, I had two major challenges, which is like, of course, tech skills. And another thing is like English ability.
Language, right?
Yeah, language.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's of any comfort, I don't know, maybe for your friends, but the foundation's curriculum has actually changed as well since then.
Okay.
So is the immersive curriculum since you graduated, but now it's designed in a way that it's designed so that when you take the foundation's curriculum serves as a the basics to help you get into the immersive. It's like an entire path to the immersive now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you finished foundations. You passed the technical assessment to get into the immersive. What was the immersive like for you?
I would say, yeah, for sure, that was one of the my best experience in my life because that was like a very immersive, intense 12 weeks, not only English environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we learned together a lot of things, of course, coding and how to communicate with people who have the different backgrounds. So I have six, how could I say, co-workers? No.
Classmates?
Classmates.
Yeah, cohort mates.
Cohorts.
Yes, cohort mates.
Yeah,
okay.
so the one guy was from Syria, one guy from Germany, one guy from Bay Area.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody has different backgrounds.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had a Japanese person.
Yeah.
Speaking English. You had a German speaking English. You had a Syrian. Speaking English. You had maybe an American. I don't remember.
American. Yeah.
One American.
Yeah. 2, 3 Americans.
2, 3 Americans.
Yeah. So at the time, I was the only native speaker in Japanese.
Oh, okay. You were the only Japanese native speaker, but you had other non-native English speakers.
Yeah.
In
non-native, yeah, of course. Yeah. But everybody's fluent. Everybody's fluent. But anyway, yeah, that was fun. So.
Okay.
Yeah, and so yeah. The CC5 was 12 weeks course, and the first 6 weeks we learned about kind of like a data structure algorithm stuff. We basically reinvent Lodash library.
Sorry?
Lodash library. It's like the array manipulation.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so we can. So if you are like building your application in practical way, you can use a lot of like a bunch of libraries. Yeah, to bootstrap your application, but to learn the basic like codings or algorithm, it's good to like reinvent yourself of a very low level array manipulation library, something like that. So, and then also, Code Chrysalis has a style of XP, extreme programming. So XP, extreme programming.
Okay.
So which is pair programming.
Okay. Because I've never heard that. That's
really?
Extreme programming.
XP, yeah.
XP.
So one of the style of agile programming. Agile development. Yeah. Yeah, the other famous one is a Scrum.
Yes,
yeah, Scrum XP.
Yeah, okay, I've heard of Agile and Scrum, but not the
XP.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
No.
But anyway, yeah. So
do you use that like even now at your workplace, or we're kind of jumping the ship, ahead now? but I mean, because I've honestly never heard. I know Agile, I know Scrum, I know Waterfall.
Yeah.
But that never XP. Never.
XP, extreme programming. Oh, really? Okay.
It's changed.
Yeah, maybe. I
think it's still popular. But anyway, yeah.
Okay.
Do you know Pivotal Lab? Is a tons
Pivotal Lab, yes.
Yeah, they are
yes.
teaching XP style.
Ah, so?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay.
So basic like the style of programming is so as I told you, the pair programming. So one guy work as a driver,
right,
and the other guy is work as a navigator. So navigator navigates driver.
Right, okay. So
and
I know
navigator cannot touch the keyboard.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I know what, because we still do that with pre-course.
Oh, yeah, pre-course.
Yeah, we still do that with pre-course. I'm not sure if that's, I have to check if that's part of the main, like, immersive curriculum. But I know in pre-course, like, we have that still.
So I still remember that the first time, I think that was the first day, I don't know.
The first day?
I couldn't say, please click this line. I couldn't say that, but it's like,
please. I see, okay.
Yeah, so, and then like, I learned how to like express myself or like instruct others in English in programming.
Right, because it's relatively it's different, right? Because like I think one of the things we also focus on in the immersive, and it's still constant till date, is how do you communicate technical terms to non-developers? Yeah. Right?
Yeah. So, so you can learn not only coding skills, but also you can learn how to communicate with peers. So, and Yeah, so for 6 weeks we learned everything about data structure and algorithm, and then the half after half 6 weeks.
The second half.
Oh, second half of the course we did few projects. So and we built applications with React.
Okay.
Yeah, at the time Next.js was not popular, so we learned how to use React library to build full stack applications. Yeah, something like that. And I mean, like learning how to use library with building real application is the best way to get skills on it. And one thing I want to mention that is like the teaming up with people who have different like backgrounds is very challenging, right? And before joining Code Chrysalis, I only teamed up with people who have the similar backgrounds, right? Everybody is Japanese, right? And I also Japanese like typically has a high context culture. High context.
It's a high context
high
culture.
context culture. So わかるよね? You know that? Right? Something like that.
You must, I mean, it's almost like, oh, it's common sense. You know
common sense. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, something like that. But it's so English is not so high context. So I was shocked that explain why we do this now is so important, or the reason why we do this first, or so I'm talking about when we set the priorities for the user stories, something like that. Yeah, so you have to explain pretty much logically, right? So there is no context, right? I think this gets high priority
because this reason, that reason.
Yeah, something like that. And that experience actually like gives me strength. You know, I'm now working in like a global company.
Yeah.
So and then when I do some project with like folks from India, folks from Singapore. So and that experience helped me a lot. Like how to like work together with people who are based in different country.
Yes. I mean, it's funny because when you were talking about like, you know, communicating with people with, you know, from different, you know, professional fields. From just observing you, it looked like you were reliving some like a recent experience. Which then brings me to, you know, my next question of, you know, after you finished the Immersive, because, you know, you went back to the same company for a while. So what was that experience going back to the same company? Did you hold the same position? Did your positions change?
So in 2018, I was working in a kind of like R&D department, like building or exploring new services for the previous company. And I got the skills for building a prototype as quickly as possible. And I was pretty much happy about the job that I was doing at the time. But it's, you know, one thing you do at the end of the course is making your LinkedIn profile very pretty, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I now know that's very important.
Yes.
But so with the pretty my profile, one of the Google recruiter reached out to me and are you interested in working at Google? Yeah, of course, why not?
Okay.
So
Google was your first official job as an engineer? Because now what's your title now? Just for
I work as a customer engineer, which is kind of like not the engineers who develops the product, Google products. I'm working with the customer to help them to build their application with Google Cloud.
Oh, I see.
So I would say you can say like cloud solution architect or pre-sales engineers, something like that, engineers in sales or.
Okay, so I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. So if we're to put this in like the context of a bootcamp graduate like yourself, and you want to use maybe Google Cloud Services for one of your projects, you would be the other person on the other side, or
I mean,
it's completely different. I'm very off the ball. I'm off the ball.
That's a funny story, but at the time I took Google's interview, I didn't know much about Google product. Yeah, but I studied about Google Cloud to get the interview.
Okay. I mean, you must have done well.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But anyway, yeah. Then. So yeah, my current job is working with customer to help them to create their application on Google Cloud, and also I have some like a 20% project. You know, 20% project. 20% project is like a kind of like a famous Google culture or something like that. So you can use your 20% of time to
yes, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
yes.
to join the like a very.
To work on different projects.
To work on different projects.
Or like your own project, or work on project with some people that's not necessarily pertaining to your main job.
Yeah.
My understanding, right? Yeah.
So there are many types of 20% projects. One of them are very officially, one of them are very casual. But anyway, so yeah, you can, in Google, having like other project, having the project other than your main role is not like very, it's common. So it is not special things. But anyway, yeah, so one of the 20% project I'm taking is building internal application. So actually I'm kind of like developing the application inside Google.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if you think back to, your experience during the Immersive, what are some things that you feel has contributed to your to what you do, what you've been able to achieve so far, either at your past company for the few months you were there, or at Google now? Lots of self-reflection.
Yeah, but one thing for sure, I say, if I had not taken Code Chrysalis Immersive course, I would not have joined Google. So I mean, everything I experienced in immersive course is helped me now. Helps me now. So the easiest one would be like at the Google's Cloud Customer Engineers interview, you have to create the demo with Google Cloud. And of course, I built a React application.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, very easily. So, and maybe I developed a React Native application. To showcase my application. That was that. And other than that, so. We live in the Gen AI era, so you can put entire source code into Gen AI to explain, to have them explain what's inside.
Right.
But it's actually funny. But if you don't have like a solid skill to read the code, you cannot
understand what's being generated.
Yeah, and in Google we use Gen AI very heavily.
Okay.
But it's actually the task you will ask for Gen AI is very important to compose your prompt. Composing prompt is not as easy as you think.
Yes.
So if you don't understand the like a structure of the code, you cannot create the right prompt, proper prompt.
And output, therefore the right output.
As an input for the GenAI.
Yeah, I mean, not even talking about code, just using, ChatGPT for example, like how you prompt the system influences what you get. And so understanding, imagine with code, understanding, having a fundamental, like a basic understanding of how to structure your prompt, and even when the output is generated, being able to understand what's generated and once again prompt the AI to be like, okay, I want this done differently. You did not understand my initial request.
So and so you'll be using the GenAI in the troubleshooting, right? Almost every time you get the error.
It feels like you're like reliving some experiences in your mind as you're talking about it, and you're like
So it is tricky for me to like make it concise, but it's working in collaborating with communication skills or working in different environment is for sure the biggest achievement in Code Chrysalis, and also the how to think in code, like how to read, how to write. So that experience helps me a lot. So Google has a big monorepo, and there are a bunch of dependencies. So, and if you don't have the ability to read the code, you can't understand anything because it's very complicated. So that's the second thing, and the third thing was like the learning React at the time is very helped me a lot, because now everybody uses Next.js. That was kind of like a server-side React. I use Next.js to build the demo application or prototype for showcasing our service to the customers. So like working with people who have the different background, then learning how to code or think in code. That was the second thing, and learning React. That's report.
Okay. So if we think back to your initial reason for wanting to explore this path or to enroll at Code Chrysalis, right? If you reflect back, because back then I think I wrote it down, was you felt like that with the advancement in cloud computing or AI, you felt like Japan needed to start thinking beyond just hardware, and so that's why you took the immersive.
At the time, cloud computing.
And so now it's been 2014, 2018. It's been 5-6 years. How do you feel that looking at the Japanese tech industry, the tech scene, and also working in a big company like Google, how do you feel like the industry or the market has evolved? And so two-part question: how do you feel it's evolved? And looking at yourself as an engineer, essentially, in terms of growth, how do you feel you've also evolved?
I mean, in terms of the tech stack, of course, it has evolved a lot. I see a bunch of improvements in the enterprise tech stack. I think there are not so many on-premise environment now maybe I think almost all of enterprises uses cloud services for some parts. I don't know. It's like for me, it's like the problem. I don't know. Is it a problem? I don't know, but it's a. I would say like I see the improvements not in the tech stack more than in the culture. So when I look back in this 5 years, so like the mindset in Japanese IT enterprises has changed a lot.
So what way? The mindset in terms of what?
Like that was kind of a joke at the time I worked for in Japanese system integrator. Was like we are 5 years. The U.S. technology is 5 years ahead of us. We just import like how can I say like the solid the applications or libraries, the technologies that only that kind of solid technologies imports to Japan. You know what I mean? Like
so it's like finished work, like only finished product is being imported to Japan.
Like it's at the time it's hard to learn the advanced technology because most of the technology written in English, right? The conversation or experiments, everything in English. And you know one of the biggest barrier in Japan is the language barriers.
Yes.
So it's hard to import the most advanced like topics. So that was like 5-6 years ago. Maybe, but now like young engineers keen to read English documentation don't want to get the first-hand experiment or something like that. So the kind of like a attitude, try to get the latest information. Yeah.
So just you'd say the younger generation, or there are more people in the Japanese tech scene who are hungry for information beyond what's available in Japan.
Yeah, I think so. Right, but it's still Japanese enterprises are kind of like a risk adverse. Is that the right word?
They're what?
Risk adverse.
Oh, risk averse. Yes, I mean, but that's Japan as a whole. No offense, but that's
okay.
The Japan as a whole is risk averse.
Yeah. So I'm working in America's companies. So if I compare the company in the US and in Japan, like taking the new technology, the speed of adapting new technology is still different. That was like, I mean, even though that's evolved a lot, but still the difference in speed. Is the problem. And my personal side is like, I don't know, that every day I'm struggling.
Some would say you've made it.
I mean, like, you know, like Google is one of the company that, how could I say, like researching the state-of-the-art LLMs or something like that. So there are the speed of development is really fast. So like catching up, like almost daily. Changing things daily.
But right? Isn't it like the immersive? Because the immersive, you learn a new topic every day.
Yeah. That helped me out.
So that like prepared you for working at Google.
I was prepared. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like working in the global environment for sure, and learning new things very quickly, and like, and then get the hands-on experience as quickly as possible. The kind of attitude. That kind of that. I feel I have changed very much. Myself.
Okay. Wow, great.
CC5. CC5 classmates taught me.
That's good. I mean, CC5. Now we're at CC36.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
CC36 starts next week. CC35 just graduated today.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So just looking at time, like thinking back, if you were to go back in time, would you do anything differently? And if so, what?
Oh, that's interesting.
Thinking back to 2018 in January. January 2018.
January 2018.
Because it's the beginning of the year, right? Because you took the Immersive July 2018, so you must have, I imagine, you started thinking about, changing your path, or changing your path slightly at the beginning of the year. So if you could turn back time.
I don't know. I would say I'm on the best path now.
So you would not do anything differently?
No, I think so.
Okay. Cool. I mean, there is no right or wrong answer. It's like, life with no regrets is great.
No, I mean, I should have studied English more before joining Code Chrysalis if I knew that.
I mean, but you survived. I said you survived. Like it's a battle, but you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And I think that's, with many, we have students or graduate students who take the Immersive and, English is not their native language. But I think it's, like you said, it's a good, it prepares you for the workforce, because it's almost like talking about code to your co-workers who are not developers, right? You have to figure out how to communicate the important or essential information to them in a way that they understand. The same thing when English is not your native language. You really need to think about your choice of words and express yourself in a way that is not confusing for the other party.
So, one thing for sure that I'm 100% confident that the people in Code Chrysalis will create you a very safe place, so you can make a bunch of mistakes. You know what I mean?
Before you go into the workforce.
Because at the time I joined the current company. I couldn't say still I struggled a lot to express what I want to say, because a professional English conversation is a different level that you experience in the Code Chrysalis, right?
Right.
Everybody casual, everybody's friendly, but if you work for the American company, it's a professional settings.
Yes, but I think, but I think there is the advantage of it being in the tech space, and also being in a Western environment. And I think it's different from Japanese in that, in Japanese there is the casual Japanese, and then there's a keigo that you speak in a corporate setting. Right? But with tech, it's very casual. Of all the industries, I think it's one of the most laid-back industries. Right? So,
if I'm not an engineer, I couldn't work in a global company. No.
I said that was my last question, but now I'm curious. What percentage of English do you use at your team now?
I think Google is kind of like a anomaly. I would say everything, the internal information all of internal information is written in English, of course, and then the emails or communication with coworkers. But as my customer is Japanese enterprises, so I use Japanese to communicate with my customers. Right?
I see. Okay.
And of course, I usually use Japanese to communicate with folks in Japan. But it's, I have many times, so many meetings with foreigners.
Because you mentioned India and Singapore.
India, Singapore, Bay Area, New York. Yeah, Google is kind of like a global company, but it's So only thing you need to care is like time zones. Yeah, that's the only thing. There is no country boundary. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you very much. I've asked you so many questions. Do you have any final words you want to say for our viewers, to our viewers?
To our viewers.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you have to pay for joining the Code Chrysalis, but it's not
that much different from but I mean, with the inflation and everything, it probably feels like a lot more. But if they're coming from overseas, it's cheaper.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah. But it's, I'm very confident to say that that's going to be your top 3 best investment in your life. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. Just that 12 weeks. Immersive, very headache experience. Very tough, very intense, very immersive. But you will get like life-changing experience. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I changed my life. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
No worries. Yeah.
Very much.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure having you with us, Hiro, and. Thank you to the audience for listening, for staying with us for this long. We hope you found, you learned something interesting about Hiro's story. We'll put his information at the bottom of the screen. You can connect with him. If you want to find out more about the Immersive program or have any specific questions, our information is also at the bottom of this screen. Feel free to reach out to us with questions. And with that, thank you very much, and we will see you in the next episode.
Thank you very much.